Okay, let's take a look at the count function. I am still sitting in the classroom and there's a lot of construction noise going on. So hopefully that's not going to be too distracting because I don't want to have to get up and move somewhere. Okay, so the count function, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up so we can actually see how many variations of the count function there are. So I'm going to type in equal count. And you'll notice, look at what I have here, equal count. Counts the number of cells in a range that contain numbers. Count A, that are not empty, that have empty cells. Count if, meets a given condition. Count ifs, this is more than one condition is met. So there's a lot. I think the book goes over the count and the count A function. But I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to have you do the count if and the count ifs also. But let's answer this first question. So how many cases were filed? So what would I need to do here? So equal count, do I want contains, counts the number of cells that can, or in a range that contain numbers. I could do this one because I have a date column, and dates are technically numbers in Excel, or I could do count A. Counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. I'm going to go ahead and choose that one. I'm going to double click on it. We'll automatically throw in my parentheses. And all I have to do now, the only argument I have, is to select the range. So I'm going to go ahead and select A2 through A31, hit enter, and now I can see, oh, I have 30 cases that were filed. And if I were to scroll down, I can see I have 31 rows. And I do have headings, so if I subtract 1, hey, yeah, that's right. But now I want to know how many cases did Schooler file. So the attorney's name is Schooler, and I want to know how many cases just Schooler filed. So I'm going to type in equal count, and I think that's a count if, right? So counts the number of cells within a range that meet a given criteria. Okay, so I'll double click on that. And you know, I have no clue how the count if function works. So if that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and click on my insert function icon here, and it will insert my function dialog box. So range, that is my first argument. That is the range of cells from which you want to count non-blank cells. So my range, because I'm looking for attorney Schooler, I'm going to select that range, B2 through B31. Now my criteria is what? I am looking for how many cases Schooler filed. So I could either type in the name Schooler, or if I want to prevent any data entry error, I can just click on a cell that contains the name that I'm looking for. Go ahead and click on OK, and it looks like Schooler filed 9 cases. So if we look up at that formula, equal count if, my range is B2 through B31, and within that range, I am looking for the criteria of Schooler, and so it counts the number of Schoolers within this range. The construction noise is getting louder. So how many cases did Schooler file that were commercial? So now I have 2 criteria that I need to meet. So again, I'm going to equal count and count ifs. Count if I had 1 criteria, but if I have more than 1 criteria, then I'm going to do count ifs, plural. Double click on that. Again, it's just easier if you open up your insert function dialog box. Okay, so my first range is the range of cells you want evaluated. So I'm looking for how many cases did Schooler file. So again, I'm going to select the range that contains my attorney's names, B2 through B31. And again, I'm still looking for Schooler, so I can either type in the name Schooler or just click on a cell that contains his name. Now I have a second criteria that I'm looking for. How many cases were commercial? So that's my criteria range 2, is the area of cases. So I'm going to select A2 through A31. And what is the criteria 2? That were commercial. So I'm going to click on that. Now you'll notice I misspelled commercial. So if you were to type in commercial and you spelled it correctly, it's going to come back as 0. So we're going to discuss this a little bit further in class. But right now I'm just going to click on A4 because it contains the misspelled commercial, and I'm just going to click on OK. But first you can see that we could keep going with criteria. If I had 3, 4, 5 criteria, but I only have 2. So I click on OK, and it looks like Schooler filed 2 cases that were commercial cases. So if you were to look through here, Schooler appellate, no appellate, Schooler commercial, there you go. So if you were to look through here, you would find that Schooler had filed 2 commercial cases. So those are 3 of your count functions.